I'm Amanda, and I want to show you today a method to preserve your eggs for a whole year. Let's get started. We are in springtime here on the farm and the eggs are flowing. So I want to take those eggs and preserve them for those winter months when they're not laying so much. This method I have found to be the easiest method in preserving eggs, and it preserves the whole egg. So here we go. You're going to need a few supplies. The first thing you're going to need is a food grade bucket. And you're going to want it to be cleaned out, and then it's ready to go. You can also purchase a plastic lid. This doesn't even screw on. It's just going to lay on top to keep the water from evaporating out of the bucket. The second thing you're going to need is hydrated lime. You can get this at a hardware store, a feed supply store. We got ours at our local feed supply store. I think we got a 50-pound bag for maybe $10, so it's not expensive, and 50 pounds is going to last you a long time. So, hydrated lime. The next thing you're going to want is, of course, fresh eggs. Now, one thing to note about the eggs. You don't want to get them from the grocery store. Why? Well, at the grocery store, they wash the eggs and it removes this protective coating on the egg. If you use grocery store eggs, that lime water is going to penetrate the shell and it's going to ruin your egg. So make sure that they are farm fresh eggs that have not been washed, and you also don't want dirt or debris on them because that will also kind of stop the preserving process. So we want clean eggs, but we don't want them washed. And the last thing you're going to need is water. Your ratio of lime to water is 1 ounce of hydrated lime to 1 quart of water. I'm going to put in 2 quarts of water today, so we're going to go with 2 ounces of lime and 2 quarts of water. Let's go. All right, the first thing you're going to do is pour your water into the bucket. There we go. And then you want to pour your hydrated lime into the bucket. Now be careful because this hydrated lime can give off a powdery smoke. And when you breathe that in, it's going to make you cough up a storm. So you want to be very careful to not let that powder rise up and then get in your lungs. Okay, that is good. It's going to look like the consistency of whole milk, and that's perfectly fine. That's what you want. And now it's time to add the eggs. So you just add them one at a time. Be very careful not to crack them. I have a 2-year-old and she loves to help me, and there have been a few cracked ones, so we want to be very careful. Just pull those out and use those up. And once you have your eggs in here, you just put the lid on the bucket, and it doesn't need a specific temperature to be in. I put mine in my pantry right by my kitchen so that I can grab from them really easily in the winter months. You grab an egg out of the bucket, rinse it off, and it's ready to go. And that's what I love about this method, because when you're freezing eggs, you need to remember to defrost them. When you're dehydrating eggs, it messes with the consistency. But this is the best method I have found so that it preserves the whole egg and the consistency of the egg. And it preserves it for a whole year until that next spring when the eggs are flowing again. So if you would like more tips and recipes on how to live off the land and how to preserve food, go to my website at www.lifewithaprons.com.